I am Pratik Ghosh, creator of Jusvista. Jusvista is a task management platform where podcasts, reviews, queries, and requests made on Justori are processed. These are processed using visible team action methodology Vista to deliver customer services on time. The Vista methodology enables executing tasks by sharing responsibilities in a transparent manner. The basic process is the same for all 4 events. Let's look at it in detail first for processing of podcast. We shall see how a podcast produced by a third party is processed by the business to appear at the designated web pages of the business. The process is in 4 steps. The podcast is shared with the business by the podcaster on Justori. The primary contact of the business responsible for Justori receives it on Jusvista platform and assigns it to an executor. The executor listens to the podcast and accepts the assignment by estimating the time to be taken to complete it. If the podcast is perfect, the executor decides under which category it will be published: public, premium, or private. The process ends there as the podcast is transferred from the originator to the business and the podcast appears at the designated area on the business web page. The executor may also generate shareable code for the podcast. If the podcast was unacceptable, the executor rejects it and the podcast stays with the originator. If the podcast needed further rework by the originator, the executor engages over the platform with the originator. The executor may set up his internal team and assign subtasks to complete the assignment. The executor may also decide for the business to take over the podcast to rework, in which case the podcast is transferred from the originator to the team member responsible for the rework. Once the podcast is approved, it can then be published on business website as usual. All along, the task appears at the Jusvista panel of each of the participating team members and designated supervisors. They all have the same view of the status bar, indicating the progress of the task vis-à-vis the time estimated to complete the task. They also are privy to the event log pertaining to the task and exchanges between the originator and the executor. The same principle is used for queries and reviews where the underlying task, instead of being publishing of podcast, is a general one with the objective of closing it on time. As for reviews, the time is fixed to complete the task. If the review is accepted by the executor, it is automatically published on the business website. However, for an adverse review, the executor may request for a deferral and to resolve the issue with the customer. The customer may still go ahead and publish the review on Justori, but it will not appear on the website of the business. So there you are about processing podcast, reviews, queries, and requests on Jusvista.